What's up, fam? Brandon Epstein here, the author of The Success Code, and boom, we are back again to take you through the final coaching video of the Success Code's playbook. And then the next video after this, we'll kind of close a loop on this coaching series together. So this is video number 9, coaching session number 9 in this series. And now is where we get to actually take the rubber and make it meet the road. We get to align you with inspired action, because the whole point of doing the exercises that I've given you so far is to align you with the life you feel truly inspired to take action towards. This isn't about forcing yourself to do more things you don't want to do to try to get to some outcomes you think you want to get to, or create some physical, material things you think you want, but rather we want to feel fulfilled in the process itself. That's what this is about, and that's how this has all become sustainable. So at this point, you should already have your blueprint laid out. You know where you're going. You know what you want to create. You've now aligned yourself at the subconscious level, so you have that subconscious success code in your body, in your bones. And that process is going to be an ever-going process, right? As you continue to reach to higher heights and you want to raise the ceilings, you're going to continue to run into different pieces of code that you need to transmute. So you can always come back to the previous videos to move you through whatever resistance is coming up. But right now, we're going to identify what is the inspired action that you feel like you want to take from your heart, not from your head, from your heart, that's going to get you to the outcomes you want. So the first thing you want to do is pull up that original blueprint around what it means to get to your life to a 10 out of 10. And what was that main outcome that you chose for your life? You're like, if I get here at the end of this coaching series, I'm going to feel deeply fulfilled and all the hard work I put in is going to be worthwhile. And I want you to start to reverse engineer that with inspired action. Now, here's the difference between inspired action and just doing for the sake of doing. We've been programmed by the Matrix to believe that the more we do, the more successful we're going to be. And so a lot of people carry around this ongoing anxiety that says that, as long as I'm doing, I'm going to be safe. As long as I'm constantly doing and I fill up every waking hour with some sort of doing, I'll get to my goals. The problem with that is that you're moving from force, you're moving from obligation. We don't want you to have to feel obligated to do the things you need to do to create the outcomes in your mental, emotional health, in your physical health, in your relationships, in your career, and in your finances. We want it to come from a place of inspiration, which is flow state, which is you're being pulled towards your outcomes through actions that feel inspired, things that wake you up in the morning with a sense of purpose. So I want you to come back to each one of those now, and let's run through it. The main outcome you chose for yourself right now. What are some inspired actions that if you're not already taking, you want to start taking? And you could maybe even do some addition by subtraction as well. You can identify maybe some things you've been doing that you know are no longer serving you and you're ready to let go of them. Not because you have to, but because you now feel the aligned inspiration because your subconscious code is now aligned with the outcomes you want. Write it down. Take some notes. What is it you want to cut out? What are you already doing well to get yourself there that you're going to continue? Write it down. And what is the inspired new action that you want to start taking? And I want you to do this and run through not just the main outcome you want, but also running through all the main areas of your life that we looked at, from your mental, emotional well-being, to your physical health, to your career, to your finances, to the 3 major buckets in your relationships, your work relationships, your tribe, and your romantic relationship. Because these things require two main elements to create that 10 out of 10 life. One is the focus. That's what we've been training this whole series so far. How do you align your focus, right? Because you are a vessel for God, your higher power, to move through you. And then once that inspiration comes through you and the focus is being pointed in the right direction, you align with your heart and you take the inspired action from your heart and you implement that into your life. And maybe the inspiration isn't always there, so you have to create systems for it. There's a lot of technology out there now to help you with this. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. My systems are very simple in my life. I use a piece of software called Asana, A-S-A-N-A, and I just use it kind of like as a project manager, put my to-do list tasks. A lot of them are recurring. Most of what I do, to be honest, is just coaching. So I put my clients in there and whatever tasks are required to make sure I'm fulfilling all my responsibilities around delivering for my clients, different programs I do. And that's where I get my tasks from. So that's my system for that. And of course, your calendar. If you're not using your calendar, it's just hard to be consistent. I mean, there are like a subset of my clients who are professional athletes where their lives are so dialed in from the professional sports teams they're working with, where they're basically on a track. It's like, hey, 8 a.m. we're meeting here, 8:30 a.m. we're getting on the bus, 12 p.m. we arrive, we go through warm-ups, all right? So if you don't have that type of system in place where someone else is literally guiding you through every step of action you need to take, then I highly advise you to get on your calendar and block it out with all the things you need to do, because your calendar is just gonna get filled up. I'm sure you're busy just like I am. And so you need to really fight for those little chunks of time to take the inspired action that needs to be taken. And you need spaciousness. You don't wanna do it from a place of urgency. So give yourself a bigger block than you maybe think it needs. If you're gonna work out and you're like, well, my workout's gonna take 45 minutes, give yourself 90 minutes. You need a little time for transportation. You need some time to whatever, get changed. Maybe your workout runs a little over. Block out those 90-minute sessions in your calendar to be able to do so. And I also recommend that if you want to keep your mental and emotional health dialed in, block a session off every week, whether you're doing this with me or you're doing it on your own, where you have 90 minutes just to drop in and take inventory on all the work that we've been doing, right? If you're just doing, but you're not taking inventory on like how it's shifting the different areas of your life, then you're not really going to be able to observe whether the KPIs you set for yourself, the key performance indicators, the things that you thought would deliver you the results are actually delivering the results you desire. And you also need that space as well to dig in and say, if I'm not taking an action or I'm not getting to a result, is there a deeper subconscious piece of code that needs to be rewired so I can see the pathway forward? And anything else that needs to be in your calendar, put it in there. Use your calendar, block off your days. Now, it's always wonderful when you don't need to do that and you can just have a free day. You know, for me on Sundays, that's a day with my family. I block it off. And that really feeds the tribe and also the romantic relationship bucket of my life, because Sundays are sacred. For the most part, if I'm not traveling, I'm there. I'm with my family, we go to the beach, we spend quality time together, we get into nature, and even that's blocked off for me. So for you, I want you to fight for everything. Your tribe, scheduled time to get together with friends. If you're really busy, put it on your calendar a week, 2 weeks in advance. Date night with your wife, put it in your calendar a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance. A little staycation with wifey. I love those. I just got back from one myself. Need it. All these things have to be scheduled in advance, because oftentimes we'll connect to that inspiration saying, yeah, I really should do that. But then it doesn't get done unless you get it scheduled. So step one is align with the inspired action. Like, what do you actually feel from your heart you want to do or stop doing to start to get to the outcomes you've chosen for yourself? And then step two is actually schedule it, create systems. A lot of people are way better than I am for creating systems. They use all kind of AI and technology to do it. That's fine. My life is more simple. I don't need it. If you have really advanced systems for yourself, beautiful. But if you want to keep it super simple like me, even if you want to have like a physical journal and you want to write in everything in there, that's great. One way or another, you're gonna have to take action. You're gonna have to take consistent action if you're gonna get where you wanna go. And this action has to come from a place of inspiration that aligns you with joy, otherwise you're gonna burn out. So make sure you're creating space in your life for the things that actually make you feel joyful, happy, inspired. Otherwise, you're gonna just start to treat even the things that are reverse engineering your blueprint as obligations again. And so that's why I have to come back to this and audit it time and time again. For me, in that weekly session I even coach myself on, is I look at, okay, how am I doing with the key areas of my life? And what are the key performance indicators that I know are gonna get me to the outcomes I want? And are they doing the things that I thought they'd do? And if they're not, do I need to shift? Do I need to focus on something different? Well, let me reconnect to the inspiration inside of myself right now. And if I'm starting to get to this place of burnout, okay, what do I need to create more space for? For me, I love playing paddle. It's basically a religion down here in Miami. And it's something that I put on my calendar at least once a week because it helps fuel my cup. Because I'll work and no play. I'll work and no play makes Brandon a very dull boy. So I incorporate that stuff as well. And I believe you should too, just because I coach people on this every single day and I see the same patterns. And if you're not creating space for that, it leads to burnout. So again, the homework today is to reverse engineer each one of those major buckets of your life with the inspired action, turning them into habits, and then scheduling them in some kind of system. Could just be on your calendar to make sure you take action. And then week over week, I want you to going back, looking at the things you've committed to and seeing if it's getting you closer to the outcome you want. And also understanding that things don't happen overnight, right? I built a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. The first year, nothing. Putting out literally 100 videos and very little traction. So sometimes it's not a matter of like, it's not working, it's just a matter of you need to keep going. And it's up to you to be able to decipher what that is. And that's part of your journey, is to be able to continue to connect with your inspiration and go, okay, am I feeling inspired with the work I'm doing? Well, I'm gonna keep going then, right? And maybe there's a little pivot here and there. That's what was required for me and that's required for everyone. So you'll make the pivots along the way and eventually you'll find your way towards the success that you desire. And not just success, but fulfillment, which is what matters most. All right, if you guys have any questions for me about this part of the process, drop them in the comment section below. Happy to help you guys out. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't grabbed the book, here it is, Success Code. I'll link it in the description below. If you're interested in exploring one-to-one coaching with me or having me come in to speak at your company or at your event, there's also a link in the description for that. And I'll see you guys on the next video, which will be the final video to talk about how do we move forward in a state of flow so we're playing the infinite game that we enjoy.